Welcome to the Leading Life Podcast, the place where leadership meets real life. Here is where we talk about leading with intention, living with clarity, and getting better results for the people we serve every single day. If you're ready to grow, you're in the right place. Let's go. Right now on today's episode, you want to win? Then start doing these winning habits today. Hi, I'm Andy Zook, and this is the Leading Life Podcast. This show is about what it truly means to lead. First, leading yourself with integrity, courage, and love and purpose, and then leading others in a way that builds lives that matter and legacies that last. Because leadership doesn't begin with a title, it begins with choices that we make every day. And each episode brings real-world wisdom and practical tools to help you become the strongest, wisest, and most intentional version of yourself at home, at work, and in the moments that matter most. No fluff here, no gimmicks, just honest leadership principles and actions that you can use today. And so why this episode matters to you is because we're going to talk about the habits of people who win consistently and how we can incorporate those habits into our lives. Because here's the truth. Winning isn't luck. Winning isn't behavior. Winning is a habit. And today we're going to talk about something powerful. If you want to win in life, you must start doing what winners do consistently. Not occasionally, not when you feel motivated, not when life is easy, but every single day. And the truth about winning is that most people think winning is talent or super high intelligence and all the right connections and the right timing. But you know what? When you study high performers, leaders, athletes, entrepreneurs, creators, you find something completely different. You find patterns of behavior, you find habits, and you find mindsets that refuse to lose. Winning is rarely one big moment. It's usually just 1,000 small, disciplined decisions that are stacked together. So people who win consistently don't rely on motivation. They build identities rooted in discipline, resilience, and purpose. And here's the best part. These habits are available to you right now, today. Let's talk about number one. Winners take full ownership. Yeah, there's no blaming, no excuses, no waiting for rescue. Winners ask one question: what can I do next? Ownership is power. Taking full ownership of your life starts with a simple but life-changing realization that nobody's going to come and rescue you. And that's actually really great news, because the moment you stop waiting is the moment you start leading. Ownership begins with honesty, telling yourself the truth about where you're winning and where you're avoiding growth. Even if it's only 5%, the 5% is where the power lives. From there, ownership becomes daily action through small non-negotiables that you prove you're serious about the life you say you want. Maybe it's moving your body, protecting your mindset, doing one hard, meaningful thing today, and showing up for the people that matter most. You stop shrinking your life and start choosing courage in real time. The honest conversation, the bold step, the dream you finally begin. Those winning habits aren't just about success. They're about becoming the kind of person who leads their own life. And the best time to begin isn't someday, it's today. The moment you stop blaming the world, you start building your future. Number two, winners control their morning. You know, you will never see a consistent winner sleeping until the last second or starting the day just on social media or reacting instead of leading. Winners start intentionally. Maybe it's going for a walk, a really good workout, a quiet reflection, journaling, planning the day ahead, expressing gratitude about the gift of life itself. Winners begin with purpose, not chaos. So don't drift into your mornings. Design them. The way that you begin your day sets the emotional tone, the mental clarity, the level of intention you carry into everything that follows. Instead of reaching for chaos or distraction or urgency, winners choose actions that create strength and focus first. Controlling the morning isn't about perfection or a complicated routine. It's about proving to yourself before the world makes any demands that you are in charge of your energy, your direction, and your life. Because the way you start your day predicts how you will live your life. And I will tell you that when I started getting up at 6 a.m. consistently, and having those first 2 hours completely devoted to myself, my development, journaling, going to the gym, gratitude walks, whatever it takes, it completely transformed my life for the better. Let's talk about number 3. Winners do the hard things every day. Comfort is seductive. Growth is uncomfortable, but winners choose growth. Each day they ask, what is the hard thing I've been avoiding? I want you to ask yourself that. What is the hard thing you've been avoiding? Because when they do that, that one habit alone separates dreamers from achievers, talkers from builders, and wishers from winners. Winners build their lives on one simple principle. They're gonna tackle the hard thing. Not extreme things, not impossible things, just the meaningful actions most people avoid because they're uncomfortable or it's inconvenient or it requires discipline. They make the difficult call. They finish that workout when it would have been easier to quit. They tell the truth in tough conversations and they keep showing up when the progress feels slow. These small repeated acts of courage strengthen confidence, character, and resilience over time. And that turns discipline into identity. Because success isn't created in rare moments of motivation. It's built in the quiet decision to choose what's hard today so life can be better tomorrow. And I will tell you that the 2 hardest things that I do, I get out of the way right first thing in the morning. And that is an aggressive workout, which is a combination of weights and cardio. And then number 2, when I get back home, I take an ice cold shower. In Florida, that's not always easy, but I take it as cold as I can. And I don't ease myself into it. I go right in and let that cold water hit me hard and wake me up. Because you know what? I just did probably the 2 hardest things that I'm going to do today. Everything after that is a win for me because I've already faced 2 challenges. So there's really nothing that's going to derail the rest of my day. If you start your day with discipline and do the hard thing, I guarantee it's going to go easier from there. You can meet any challenge, really. Number 4, winners stay consistent when motivation is gone. Anyone can work hard when they're inspired. That's easy. Winners work hard when they're tired, they're discouraged, nobody's watching anymore, and progress feels slow. Winners understand a truth that most people learn too late. Motivation is really unreliable, but consistency is everything. There will be days when the energy isn't there, the excitement fades, and progress feels slow. But disciplined people keep showing up. They rely on their habits, routines, and the clear commitments instead of feelings, knowing that small, steady actions compound into meaningful results. And this is where the real confidence is built. Not in the moments of inspiration, like I said, but in that quiet decision to continue when no one's watching and nothing feels easy anymore. Long-term success doesn't belong to the most motivated person. It belongs to the one who refuses to stop because they understand consistency beats intensity every time. Number 5, winners protect their mind. They're obsessed with their mindset. They are careful about what they watch, what they listen to, who they spend time with, and the thoughts they allow into their mind. Winners understand that every result in life is shaped first in the mind, which is why they intentionally protect what they allow to influence their thinking. They limit the negative noise. They distance themselves from constant criticism and distraction and choose inputs that build clarity, strength, and belief. Instead of feeding on doubt, comparison, or fear, winners will focus on gratitude, purpose, learning, and forward movement. This isn't a denial of reality. It's just disciplined mental stewardship, knowing that thoughts shape decisions and those decisions shape our destiny. Because when the mind is guarded and focused, better actions follow, and better actions ultimately create the life we're seeking. Because winners know your environment shapes your expectations shape your future. Winners feed their minds with belief, growth, and possibility. Okay, number 6. Winners take care of their bodies. Yeah, energy is the advantage. You cannot win long term if you're exhausted or you're unhealthy or you feel burned out. Winners keep moving. They train, they recover, they respect sleep. They recognize that their body is the engine that carries every dream, responsibility, and opportunity in their life. So they treat it with intention and respect. They move regularly. They fuel themselves with care. They prioritize getting rest, and they choose habits that create strength, energy, and longevity rather than short-term comfort. This isn't about perfection or appearance. Think of it being about performance understanding that clear thinking and emotional stability plus sustained effort all begin with physical well-being. So when the body is cared for, resilience rises, our confidence grows, and the capacity to show up for life fully expands. Winners know health is not separate from success. Health is success. And then, number 7, winners serve something bigger than themselves. Real winning isn't about your ego. It's about impact. The strongest winners always tend to be the ones that lift people up. They open doors for others. They mentor. They build teams, but most of all, they leave a legacy. Winners don't only live for personal comfort and achievement. They connect their efforts to a purpose beyond themselves. This is the most important point I want you to think about, because whether it's family, community, faith, or a mission, or the desire to just make life better for others, this larger calling gives meaning to sacrifice and strength during the difficult seasons. Service shifts the focus from ego to impact and turns ordinary work into meaningful contribution. And when people know who they are and what they're serving, quitting just becomes even that more difficult, and perseverance becomes natural because the journey is no longer just about them. This is the deepest form of winning, helping somebody else besides yourself win. All right, number 8, winners never decide the game is over. Yeah, this might be the most important habit of all. Winners fall, winners doubt, winners struggle, but they never make the fatal decision that they're done. Instead, they reset, they rest, they learn, and then they rise again. Winners refuse to let temporal setbacks write permanent endings. They understand that failure, delay, and disappointment are chapters, but not conclusions. So they keep moving forward when a lot of others mentally check out. Even in uncertainty, even in fatigue, they hold on to possibility and stay willing to take the next step, adjust the plan, and try again. The quiet refusal to give up is often the true difference between those who eventually succeed and those who stop too soon. Because the game is rarely over until someone decides it is, and winners simply don't make that decision. Because as long as you keep moving, you are still in the game. And this is your leadership edge for this episode. People don't follow titles, they follow standards. So when you live with winning habits, your family sees it, your teams see it, and your community rises with it. Your habits silently give others permission to become better themselves. That's leadership, that's legacy, that's the leading life. Here is your call to arms for this episode this week. I want to challenge you to something simple, but yet powerful. Just choose one winning habit from today's episode. Wake up earlier, move your body, do the hard thing first, protect your mindset, practice consistency, or serve somebody else. But pick one of those. Do it for 7 straight days. No excuses, no skipping, no negotiating. Because winning doesn't start in a stadium, it starts with a decision. So pick one of those 7 for 7 days. Getting up earlier, moving your body, doing the hard thing first, protecting your mindset, practicing consistency, or serving somebody else today. It just starts in that decision. So if this episode spoke to you, I want you to share it with someone who's ready to rise. And remember, you don't need perfect timing. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need permission. You just need to decide, I'm going to start doing one of these habits today, and then stack on the next habit in the next 7 days, and then so on and so on. And when you do that, you're not chasing a better life. You're leading one. All right, so that's my episode, and I hope this impacted you for the better. If it did, please leave me a rating and review on whatever platform you're hearing me on, and please hit subscribe so you won't miss another episode of the Leading Life Podcast. And until next time, I want you to lead with purpose, live with intention, and keep becoming who you were meant to be. But most importantly, let's change the world by going out, each of us, and being the hero of somebody's story today. I'm Andy Zook, and this is the Leading Life Podcast. I'll talk to you on the next episode. I appreciate you. Take care. Bye.